Good morning, my little sunflowers. We're in a little bit of a different environment today. I'm in my game room again, so it's a bit chaotic of a background. I apologize. It's been a few weeks since I've posted, and there's been a lot of things that have come up in those few weeks, hence why I haven't posted. It's been a lot. I have to take my car in twice and potentially a third time, depending on how she runs today. I had all three of the belts replaced, and then we actually ended up having to replace a caliper and two of my brakes because I had a caliper snap in a spot that my mechanic said he has never seen before. So that was super cool and super expensive. So it's been a little chaotic. There's also a family visit on the weekend, so that was 3 days away from home. That was fantastic and filled with very fun little visits. I really enjoyed getting to see my family. I've seen some family that I haven't seen in a while. And then I also got to visit some friends. So it's been a lot. Obviously, with the driving, my crocheting hasn't been so much, but I have gotten a few things done, including 4 bucket hats. Um, Only one of these actually ended up fitting the intended head, which is crazy to say because two of them were for me and both of them were too big. But of course, I refused to frog things, so I just finished them as they were, and yeah, so that's. I'm gonna go through them for you, and then I do also have one more thing. I made myself a yarn hammock. I can't even remember if I was talking about this in the last episode of my layoff summer, which has not made it great because obviously I'm laid off, so I have no income. So all of the random expenses that have been coming up have been top tier eating through my savings. So I've made 4 bucket hats in the last week that I've taught myself how to make bucket hats, and only one of them is the correct size. And the one that I made for my niece, I actually have to go back and frog my rim and add a couple more rows of the granny stitch because it didn't end up when she put it on, she didn't have it on the spot that it was supposed to sit. And silly on me for expecting a 5-year-old to know how the hat should sit. That wasn't my own fault. Um, but yeah, so basically I have to go back in and do some surgery on her hat and get it up to her. So let's go through this. This is the one that I made for my niece. It's this very fun, I think this is called a variegated yarn. I'm not sure because it's not ombre, it's multiple colors in like different sections. But it was funny, I asked her on the phone what her favorite color was, and she said it was blue. And then she picks this yarn, which is purple, greens, and whites. So I had a very interesting giggle with her about how she said she wanted a blue hat, and then when I brought options, I didn't even bring this one for her as an option. This was just a cotton yarn that I was going to make. I don't even remember what I was going to make. I think I was going to make a bandana out of it. But she ended up saying, no, I want that one. So, yeah, I have to refrog the 3 rows, which is crazy because I literally already sewed in the end. So I have to figure out where it is, and then I have to do some surgery and get that end unweaved. And frog these 3 rows. Add, I think, 2 or 3 more rows of granny square stitch. I might. How many do I have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 5, and I think on these ones I did 7 or 8. So I'll probably do 2 more just in case. Just because it's smaller doesn't mean that she's also a very large 5-year-old child. No hate on her. I love it. She's fantastic. But as a 5-year-old, she's already up to my chest. And that's probably on me for being the shortest in my family, but it's hilarious. But because of that, I want to add the extra row so maybe it will fit her into next summer. Worst case, her brother can wear it because he is also a large and in charge child. But he's 2, so but as a 3-year-old, he might actually fit into this, which is crazy to me. So yeah, this is the first one. I can't remember the name of the tutorial, like who the artist was of the tutorial that I was following. But if I can find the video that I followed to make these, I will put it in the link to. I'll put the link to it in the description below. It was an artist here on YouTube, and I follow her, and this was the first pattern that I followed by her. It's been in my crochet backlog of patterns and videos that I wanted to do, and obviously it's summer and I needed something that was a little bit more summery than just a bunch of sweaters and stuff that I was working on. So granny stitch bucket hats has been very fun. So this one needs some surgery, but she will be good. And then this is the one that I made for my husband. He specifically requested black. He has told me, we're covered in cat hair here. That's funny. He likes black, and we have a very fluffy white cat, so he's going to end up having to roller this the whole time. But it is a very, like, I love this, but he says he won't wear it outside because it's not manly. But it's not going to fit. I have a bun, but it does, I think it's so cool. This was the second one I made, and this one is the one that actually fits perfectly. Probably because I made him try it on every 10, like, stitches. Not actually, like, every row. I think I went through and just made sure that it was fitting where it was. He didn't want a very wide brim, but of course now the way that I did his brim, it like curls downwards, and I kind of hate it. But he says he doesn't care, and obviously he's not going to be wearing outside of the house, so oh well. But it's so cool. It's very nice. Like, I love the granny stitch. Like, I just think that's so fun. This used this used half a skein of black. And I think I'm going to make another one in the same black, but I might do it with like the black top and the black rim and then a different color in here. I think a red would look really fun. So that's an option if I do it. The next one is the first one that I made. So it has the wavy rim that she actually does in her tutorial. And I made it for me, but of course I did one extra row on the top. I should have done one row less up here because it is about like a centimeter too big around my head. Like, I put it on and I could easily just throw my head down and this will go on the ground. But this was also a variegated, I think variegated is what they're called. But it's a multicolor yarn. So this one was very nice. I do love it. It kind of is giving jellyfish. I love a jellyfish though. So this one is very fun, but I am going to end up putting this one on my Facebook to see if any of my friends want it. I was deciding on if I wanted to frog it, but I'm not a frogger. I'm kidding. I frog a lot. Actually, I probably frog about 50% of my projects because I'll just absolutely start hating it or something. But yeah, it is it's nice. Like, I do like it, and I will be making myself another one. I just feel like I definitely did something different along the way from what she was doing, but I don't know. It's, I'm going to go back and rewatch it again and redo a new one multiple times because I am having a lot of fun with this. These are really good ways to use up yarn too, I found, because I have a lot of single skeins. If you've seen, I believe it was my first summer layoff video that I did, I got really lucky and I scored a massive haul of yarn off of Facebook Marketplace. An elderly lady in a town over had 2 garbage bags worth of yarn posted, and I had just reached out and was like, what would you take for all of it? Like, I'll just immediately come and pick it up and take it all off your hands. Like, what do you want for it? And she honestly was just like, $50, come and take it all. She gave me an extra half bag of yarn that was like some cool things that I had never worked with. I've never worked with mercerized cotton. I've never worked with fur yarn. I've never worked with the eyelash yarn. There's a lot of cool things in there that I'm really excited to look into and try. But for right now, I'm working through some of the acrylics and the plain cottons because there's a lot. Like, I have 4 totes of yarn right now, and that is not including all the yarn that I also have scattered throughout my house. But yeah, so this one used this whole ball of yarn. The black one used half, and then this one, once I have the surgery done, I should probably have the majority of this skein done as well. So the little ball will go into my scrap yarn jars, the graveyard of yarn. I'm having a very fun time. I've already filled an entire, I keep my jars. I'm a jar hoarder. And the iced coffee that I buy, the instant iced coffee, is like a 1 kilogram jar. So it's like a foot tall. And I've filled one of them completely already with balls of scrap yarn from projects that I've done this year. And I'm super excited by that because my goal is to fill 3 of those this year, which I think I can do because at this rate I'm stuffing that one. I just need to finish the instant coffee in the jar that I am in right now, and then that one's getting filled up too. So yeah, this is the second hat that I made. The gray was actually, this was supposed to be my husband's hat at first, because this was he actually picked out like this gray. It's like a steel gray. But I didn't have enough of the gray to do the top, the granny stitches, and the rim. I only had enough to do the top and the rim, but he wanted a solid color hat. So I did the pink, and then, so I made it for me, but once again, it is about a centimeter too wide on all of my head. So probably about actually an inch too big, which is basically an entire row off of the top that I should, again, so I've learned that I have a small head for an adult because I followed the tutorial, and this is the standard size that she actually suggests for an adult, which the standard size fit my husband perfectly. It is too big on me. So for myself, I'm going to have to do one less increase row on the tops of the hat. So that's very fun. But now I have 2 hats that will end up going on my Facebook in my art for sale album for my friends. 2 very fun and very different vibed crochet hats as well. I was talking about frogging. I had half of a shawl done for my niece because this was the original blue that I brought to do her hat, and she didn't want it in this color. So I was like, oh, I will make her a little, like a poncho. Well, the length that I needed and to do the thickness that I wanted, she may only be 5, but she is she's a bigger 5-year-old, like bigger built body. Like she's really tall for 5, which is valid. My sister and her husband are both giants. Coming from someone who is 5'2", okay? Everybody else in my family is like 5'8" and taller, besides my biological mother. So I got her height. Everybody else got the giants in the family. I got the short end of the stick, literally. So I was starting to make this, and then very quickly realized I didn't have enough yarn to make the size that she would need. So I frogged it, and now I'm going to make her a blue bandana following, I believe it is Hey Hey Crochet. It's her granny stitch bandana tutorial that I've been following, and I do like it. I'm struggling to like the picot borders, and I think that's a problem all on my own. So if I do the granny stitch one, I may try to do it in a shell stitch border, because I think with the blue it would just be very pretty for summer. So she's gonna end up getting a bandana with this, so that is what I will end up making for her, that is blue, and doing the surgery on her hat. And then the last thing that I finish, I'm going to actually have to turn you around for 1 second. So the final thing that I finish is this yarn hammock. So we have it hung up with 3 command strips. So, and again, I followed the Hey Hey Crochet bandana tutorial, and I just made it bigger. Here, can I zoom this out? I can. Beautiful. Okay, so yeah, I made it bigger, like probably did an extra 15 rows to this than compared to the bandana tutorial. And then obviously instead of doing straps for a bandana, I added hoops. Like I did chains and then looped them so I could hang them up here. And then it just holds some yarn that I'm currently working through. So like there's the black acrylic that I did my husband's hat in. And there's like some whites and stuff. There's other like little quarter skeins and stuff that I'm going to be using for headbands and like bandanas. And then there's like all of my little plants and stuff on my monitor here. But yeah, so that's what we've been up to the last week. And not a whole lot has been done. But at the same time, I feel like these hats take me about 3 to 4 hours each, especially because I'm a little slower and like newer to making bucket hats and circling or crocheting in the rounds and stuff like that. But it was very fun, and I do enjoy it, and I will be making more. And honestly, I've had a few friends say that they want one anyways, so I'm not worried about having to make more. I enjoy making them, and honestly, I'm just really enjoying crochet. Anything that I get to make right now has just been a very big blessing. Like, I'm very excited that I get to work on things that I enjoy. And crocheting has definitely been something that I enjoy. And not that I want it, I do not want a crochet business. I do not. I'm so over trying to make art businesses work for me. But I am never against taking orders for my friends. I love to create for my friends. And I have friends who have thrown some of the best custom orders at me. Even when I was doing jewelry, I had friends that would be like, all right, these are the stones I want, but I trust your intuition and like build something that you know I'm going to love. And I've yet to have somebody actually disappointed. I've had one person switch a design up a little bit, like it was literally just a couple tweaks of making something a little bit shorter so it would sit differently on them than it sat on me. And that's always super easy, and I never have any trouble doing it. So yeah, we've been doing lots of hats. So up next for crochet for this week, but for, probably like over the next couple of days of this week, and into next week, I do plan to make more bucket hats, and I also plan to make more bandanas. Those are kind of on my roster right now. I have to put my insane amount of headbands that I've made in the last week into my art album as well on my Facebook, because I definitely just went, like, I've noticed one thing with my ADHD and my crocheting is that I find something that I like to crochet and I just crochet the absolute crap out of it until I'm like, I never want to make this again. So I made about 20 of the headbands. Same thing with, like, I have like 30 scrunchies that I made. So everything is going up in my art album for my friends, and I'm not mad about that. And then worst case, if things like don't sell for the absolute cheap that I have them, they'll be gifts for people, or they'll be going to, like, how some things you do, like you can donate a gift basket. I'm always more than happy to donate like a crochet bundle of stuff. So like a bucket hat, a scrunchie, a bandana, and then bam, there you go. 3 simple things that I like to make. And now somebody has a basket of cool crochet stuff. So yeah, that's the plan for now. My goal is to get through at least 5 skeins like this size or more. I'm hoping that by doing this and also spending the week deep cleaning my house, I can find my yarn winder. She's up and walked away. I swear she's up and walked away. John even helped me scour through my entire house because I had him put my yarn hammock up. And fantastic. And then I was gonna cake all of the balls of yarn that I've just now tossed up there. I had them sat in a basket on the floor, so I wanted them up and over there, but I wanted them caked so that it was easier for me to use them, because I like to do center pulls, and obviously I can't center pull this, so it's yeah, I'm gonna have to rip apart my entire house to try and find that. So yay, that's fun. But I'm gonna leave you guys with this for now, and I will check back in with you guys hopefully soon. My goal is to keep myself posting at least once a week. I've got some more chaotic stuff coming up in July, and then come August, my seasonal job starts again. So I'm hoping things can stay a little consistent over this month at least. I'm hoping to do some pre-filming and scheduling videos. So I've got some ideas to get done this week and to hopefully get myself ahead at least a week or 2 with some filming. So if you guys are interested in seeing what kind of chaos I'm up to, or what crochet crochet projects I have going on over the next few weeks, I may be doing a crochet along with me, or like a crochet challenge. I kind of want to do like how many headbands can I make in a day kind of thing, or like see how fast I can crochet a bucket hat. It would be very fun, like a timed thing. But yeah, so that's gonna be the plan for now. If you want to see more of that, feel free to subscribe. I do have a goal to try and hit 500 subscribers this summer, which I'm delusional enough that I believe I can do it, but I'm also realistic enough to know that that is not in my wheelhouse of control. And while it is a goal, it is something that I'm not going to let myself get heartbroken by, because I don't control that kind of thing. So I will hopefully see you guys in next episode of the Layoff Summer series. And I hope you guys, if you're in the heat wave right now, stay hydrated, stay as cool as you can, stay in the shade, wear your sunscreen. We are all suffering right now. It is only, I think it's 8 a.m. Oh my gosh. It is 8:50, so it's 9 a.m. And it's already 32 degrees out, plus humidity right now. And it's brutal. This is Canada. Okay, and I'm just very thankful for my AC. I have friends that are in the EU and the UK that are getting absolutely obliterated right now by the heat, and they don't have AC and fans. So I'm beyond blessed to have the AC, and I am rootin' and tootin' for all of my friends that are suffering through this heat wave in their own way. I'm sending you guys the strongest air hug I can with a strong, cool breeze. So I love y'all. Stay safe, stay hydrated, and wear your sunscreen. I'll hopefully see you in the next one. Love you, sunflowers. Bye.